EGM Network.
Hey, this is Bill Crafton. I'm here again with Jesse James. Hey, you know, the guy that's really great with these podcast stuff, right? Like, I don't leave home without my American Express, and I won't do a podcast without Jesse James here, you know? He's absolutely the best.
Thank you.
And if you're ever doing something here, Evergreen Media... Oh. Catch that, Evergreen Media, right? Don't cut me off, Jess.
Yeah, I didn't mean to.
Plug for you guys. There it is, Evergreen Media, right?
All right.
Hey, number 16 podcast, Jess?
Yeah, number 16.
Boston Red Sox. Come on.
Red Sox.
Who was it? 1967.
Larry Doby.
No.
Who's number 16? Roger Clemens.
No, Palmer. Yeah, he was number 16. He pitched for the Boston Red Sox. They won the last 4 games of the year to win the pennant to get into a World Series.
Okay.
And they swept the Minnesota Twins. I love those Twins guys, you know?
Nice.
Hey, my wife has a friend, Leslie, who is a big fan of this program broadcast. So, Leslie, this is going to be dedicated to you tonight.
All right.
Can I do that, Jesse?
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
All right, just
shout out to Leslie. Yeah.
This is for Leslie, if you're out there, Leslie. Hey, we got the global warming. You're always going to see this because it's really out there, folks. So,
yeah.
Take a peek at it.
The globe is heating up. It is already heated up. But let's see, it's over 2 degrees Celsius on average. That's over 3 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's 2024. It's only getting hotter, folks.
Yeah,
there's the proof.
And 25, 24, 23, those are the 3 hottest years ever recorded. No, they weren't being recorded in the 1400s and stuff like that, so we don't really know. But at least the last 3 years, since the 1850 or something, these are the 3 hottest years. Bang, bang, bang. Almost 1, 2, 3 in a row, but there was one a little cooler than the other. Hey, we're going into, we got the billionaires is my theme with Social Security, right?
Yeah.
And what the billionaires pay in taxes, Jess? Social Security taxes?
Very close to 0, yeah.
Yeah, is Maria?
Yeah, this is Miss Patty Murray.
Patty Murray. She works in the government.
She does.
She's Congress. She doesn't know what to do.
What if you're a billionaire like Trump or Musk? Your Social Security tax would be effectively, on my understanding,
very, very much smaller.
0.0002.
Yes.
That just doesn't make sense to me. And when the richest people in the country have the smallest effective tax rate, that does not seem to me like a very fair system, especially when we are now 6 years away from retired workers facing this 24% cut in their Social Security benefits.
In all likelihood, folks, it's going to be a lot more than 24% when you get there from 6 years from now. That's just a ballpark estimate. It's not going to be any more. And do we have anything what the president might want to say about that?
Yeah, here's what the president thinks about Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid.
We can't take care of daycare. We're a big country. We have 50 states. We have all these other people. We're fighting wars. We can't take care of daycare. It's not possible for us to take care of daycare. Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things, they can do it on a state basis. You can't do it on a federal. We have to take care of one thing, military protection. We have to guard the country. But all these little things, all these little scams that have taken place, you have to let states take care of them.
Yeah, well, he calls it a scam, and that's really disgusting. But that we play this so you know where we're headed. If the president of the United States can't embrace covering these types of things and making sure everything's getting bring the Republican Party in line so that they would pass something that would save Social Security, then you're in deep trouble out there, folks. And hey, something happened significantly last night, Jesse.
What's that?
Stephen Colbert. You know about Stephen?
Oh, yeah.
His last show.
Oh. That was last night. Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't making any money for the billionaires, so supposedly they cut him. But the billionaires they're going to be buying Warner Brothers, and they're paying $108 billion for it, but they don't have enough money to cover the show. The guy Brendan Carr, he's FCC chairman.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's been attacking. All the talk show hosts and Saturday Night Live people and stuff, and threatening the companies that carry them that they're going to pull their licenses and stuff. it almost borders on being criminal. But this is supposed to be a free country, free speech. You know, you lose your free speech like they did in Germany. You get a terrible situation on our hands, and we're sliding down the slippery slope in that direction. And no one in the Republican Party is going to step up to Donald Trump. And we'll explain that a little later. Anyway, it's important to fix the Social Security funding. It's being done by payroll dollars, and that doesn't work anymore. These billionaires, we did this last week, what, $158 billion in transaction fees, transactions that occurred
in 1 month.
The month of February, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And not the one to Social Security and enhance their wealth.
Yeah.
The billionaires enhance their wealth, and we, hardworking Americans, we lose. So these fees need to be charged on those types of transactions. A 5% fee, it's not a lot of money, you know.
Yeah.
So a 5% fee on all those transactions would save Social Security and basically make it permanently going forward in the future that no one would ever have to worry about living the quality of life after they retired, okay? So that's pretty much the way it goes. And here's that example. $108 billion Warner Brothers acquisition, Jess?
Yeah.
How much is that at 5%? You know, you're the math guy.
Oh.
But I already figured it out.
Okay,
Jess.
good. I'm glad.
$5.4 billion could go into Social Security Trust Fund.
Wow.
Think about that.
Yeah.
This guy overbid somebody by $60 billion. You know, so that's the guy that can't afford Stephen Colbert show, right?
Right.
That's the family that can't afford that. But they can afford to buy the Warner Brothers basically for $108 billion. Plus, they kicked in $2 billion penalty fee. $2 billion penalty fee to cover Netflix. So that's really like $110 billion they're spending on it to start with. And if we don't take care of Social Security, folks, AA is coming. I call it the Grim Reaper. It's right around the corner. It's coming fast. High-tech people are going to cut their jobs. When they cut their jobs, they got mortgages, they got a whole bunch of payments to make, they got families. And you know what? They're going to be really, really, really hurting. And if we get a 25, 30% employment rate in this country, we're back into the Depression era.
Yeah.
100 years later. Wouldn't that be odd? The 30s? 1930s to the 2030s.
History repeating itself, right? In a way.
100 years later, you know? So anyway, I look at that acquisition that's being done, and I call that acquisition. That's an acquisition that's bad for free speech. So my point is, pay close attention to this podcast, folks. It's time to wake up America. And here we go. Jesse, please read the Capitalism Part 1.
Yeah,
you got it right there.
This is about Larry Ellison taking over media in America. He really is.
Yeah, he is. No doubt about it.
Yeah. So for a little bit of history, 2025, Mr. Ellison, Larry Ellison, has put up most of the $8 billion bid by his son, David Ellison, to buy Paramount, owner of the fabled Hollywood studio, as well as CBS and other properties that generate news and content. Now, President Trump was paid $16 million before that deal was closed. Kind of greased the wheels, looks like.
Well, we're not sure. You know, the president's a pretty honorable guy. You know, you can trust everything he says. I don't think he's ever told a lie in his life, Jess. I'm telling you.
To him,
just ask him. He'll tell you, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, do you have that clip you could play?
We do,
what the president might be saying about that stuff?
Yes, this is from PBS NewsHour on YouTube.
The FCC approved Skydance Media's $8 billion bid to acquire CBS News parent company Paramount. The green light from Trump's FCC comes after Paramount agreed to a $16 million settlement over a lawsuit brought by the president. Well, I was going to ask you that. Is this sort of the new template for future media deals, this sort of new era of political appeasement? You mentioned two of the things that Skydance agreed to. They're also agreeing to a comprehensive review of CBS, and they say they're going to ensure viewpoint diversity in addition to getting rid of DEI at Paramount and installing an ombudsman to check for complaints of bias.
That's right. And then I would say on top of that, the president himself has claimed that Skydance has agreed to an additional $20 million in public service announcement commitments for PSAs, presumably for causes that are near and dear to the president's heart. Now, I should note Skydance is not commenting on any of that and has not confirmed that. But yeah, is there a new landscape here? Sure. So long as business leaders, media leaders are willing to make these allowances in order to do business. And so long as Trump and FCC Chairman Brendan Carr are able to leverage the power of their offices in order to exact these settlements or these allowances, then yeah, that is the landscape.
Hey, yeah, that's the landscape, all right. Yeah, it's funny, Jesse. That acquisition was delayed. It ran over 250 days of delay once they applied for it.
Mm-hmm.
And, right after they got that $16 million settlement with the president, within weeks, it closed. It was okay to go. Okay, everybody signed off. Brendan Carr's not going to look into it and see if it's a monopoly that's being formed by owning all these networks and media and content areas. So he's leaving that alone. He thinks it's okay, I guess. But the president picked up $16 million to do whatever he wants to do. But he usually says he's going to give it to charity, but he never releases his tax returns. So we never know if it really gets to charity. We just got to take his word. But then again, he never lies, right, Jess?
Right. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, what do you think about that $20 million, Jess? You think that's a...
it seems fishy. Seems real fishy. Yeah.
Public service announcements. What the heck's in them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, there's something he mentioned on this political appeasement, Jess.
Political appeasement. I've heard this term before.
Yeah.
Bill, can you give us what's your definition of political appeasement?
When I hear this and I think about it, I thought about it a long time too, Jess. You know.
Okay.
Do not broadcast anything that could offend the president. That is why I think the free press is not so free anymore. It's being controlled. Have you ever watched Fox sit down with the president and ask him those hard-hitting questions?
I've watched some clips, but I haven't seen any hard-hitting questions.
No, that's a joke, isn't it? They sit down and interview the president, right?
Yeah.
They never drill down. They say, "Oh, yes, sir, Mr. President." Off they go, right?
Yeah, softball after softball.
That's right. Department of Justice announced that the Trump family cannot be investigated for financial crimes. Imagine that, financial crimes.
Yeah.
I wonder, and basically, I wonder why.
Right. Yeah. So now he's got immunity from financial crimes, immunity as the president to do whatever the president wants to do.
You can't look into their IRS filings, their tax returns. I mean, really, what are they hiding? You think they're hiding anything? I don't know. He's a pretty honest guy, though. I got to kind of trust him. He's my president, right? Jesse, Katie Couric did some pretty good stuff. We have anything on her?
She did, yeah. Here's a clip from Katie Couric herself.
So apparently the Trump administration doesn't like the way much of the media is covering the war right now. In recent days, the president has complained on Truth Social that the media actually wants us to lose the war, that their terrible reporting is the exact opposite of the actual facts, and he called them sick and demented. He later said that U.S. media outlets were helping Iran spread disinformation through AI. This after Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth berated CNN for its coverage, adding,
"The sooner David Ellison takes over that network, the better."
The Ellisons are, of course, Larry Ellison, the billionaire founder of Oracle and a huge Trump supporter, and his son David, who's about to take over Warner Brothers Discovery, which includes CNN. While the younger Ellison has insisted CNN will maintain absolute editorial independence, sources cited by the Wall Street Journal claim Ellison offered assurances to Trump officials that he would implement major changes at CNN if the deal goes through.
Hey, it seems like Hegseth already knew that CNN was a done deal based on his comment there, right? It's going to be great when they take it over, right?
Right.
So we got a tag team going on between father and son and the medias, and I think they're all on the same page of where they're taking all this stuff. One thing that to make democracy strong has always been a strong news media is a question of what the government does. And I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat. Everybody who watches this knows that, right? But the bottom line is, you got to question the people in power, because if you don't question the people in power, they go crazy. Not that our president's going crazy, but it could happen. You never know, right?
Right.
Unfortunately, CNN may not be doing or questioning the government in the future. Based on what's happening now. President Trump and Dave Ellison have had a discussion about which people the president would like to see removed from CNN. No, I know who they are, but I didn't want to mention them. So when it happens, I'll let you know if I was right, okay? And we had something from our former President George Bush about news media, right? Covering stuff.
Yeah, here's the second part of that Katie Couric clip, and George Bush is mentioned in this.
Meanwhile, his son, George W. Bush, who faced even more criticism for the war in Iraq, nevertheless understood the importance of a free press. This is what he said in 2017.
We need an independent media to hold people like me to account. I mean, power can be very addictive, and it can be corrosive, and it's important for the media to call to account people who abuse their power.
Because independent media is seen as a threat, attacking and suppressing the press is part of the authoritarian's playbook. So Trump has gone from calling anything he doesn't like fake news in his first term to putting his thumb on the scale to bolster corporate owners who will likely give him more favorable coverage. And now it's bullying outlets with the threat of revoking their licenses. George Orwell once wrote, "Journalism is printing what someone else does not want printed. Everything else is public relations." Looks like the White House only wants good PR and is trying to control the message. But as Walter Cronkite said, freedom of the press is not just important to democracy, it is democracy.
Yeah, that's quite a statement. Anyway, with the George Bush comments, kind of rings true today, Jesse. What do you think?
Yeah.
Power is addictive.
Yeah.
Power is also corrosive.
Yeah, well, they say absolute power corrupts absolutely.
I see that happen.
Yeah.
Almost every day, right? You look at something and you can't believe what's going on with the federal government, you know, and these people that are running it, they're like the clown car, right? Doing what somebody says jump and they say how high, you know, that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
Plus the press, you know, in the old days, it used to be the newspaper. Right now, TV's even fading away. Social media and podcasts. Hey, podcasts are taking over, just, you know.
Right, yeah.
And Walter Cronkite, you know, just looking back, he was a guy, he was like the most trusted man in America to deliver the truth. We got these clowns. I was watching ABC this morning, right? Mm-hmm. All they did was talk about sports.
Really?
Yeah, that was their news broadcast, sports. You know, that's all they were talking about, sports, basketball, hockey, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
No real serious things going on in the world. You think we're living in a saint's place, right? Hey, did you know that 20% of the people just get their news from TikTok?
20% of Americans get their news from TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's scary.
Yeah, I never knew that. I thought it was just people, you know, jumping off roofs and dancing around. That was the TikTok stuff. They actually get news out of it, huh?
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Wow.
Okay, we just make a comment here, Jess.
Right.
One thing dictators do when they take over, right? Mm-hmm. They capture the media, right? And my example is Putin in Russia. When he came into power, they had a free media, many stations. Now they don't. He eliminated the free media, and now they only spread his propaganda.
Yeah.
So that's what we have to be careful with in America, folks. Yeah. You know, basically billionaires. When I say billionaires, not 1 billion, hundreds of billions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
Billionaires taking over the media and spreading the message. So that's my major concern.
Yeah, but just to play devil's advocate, there is a difference between United States and Russia. We do think of ourselves as a free democracy. How would a dictator, devil's advocate, how would a dictator take over in such a free democracy?
Well, this is the way I look at it, right? First, you have to. I'm going to give you a list of 4 or 5 things. First on my list would be grab the Supreme Court in the United States if you were doing it in America. Mm-hmm. If you can get the Supreme Court to abide by all your appeals that you bring it for them and have them rule in your favor, that's a sound footing to move forward. Then, right?
Yeah.
In part 2 is the Department of War. Eliminate all the military people that would be loyal to the Constitution and hold on to the people that would want to serve a dictator. And we've lost maybe 20 senior military officials in the last 4 or 5 months.
Yeah,
so,
a whole lot.
A whole lot. We lost a whole lot.
Yeah, way more than normal.
And then to take over the media, you've got to have your friends, billionaires, buy out all the stations. The United States, the president just can't take over the media right now anyway. And so he's having his friends buy out the media. Okay, so now they will take the content and they will deliver only what they want to deliver. And they may not want to be too critical of what the president's doing or how he's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And my last thing that I've never mentioned before that I have strong feelings about, closed primary elections. You know what a closed primary election is? We have them in Florida, right?
Yeah.
As an independent, 30% of the registered voters in Florida are independents. Somebody's coming up for re-election, you can't vote for them or you can't vote against them. You can't vote in the state.
In the primary.
In the primary.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay? And that gives power to political powers. Political parties. Gives the power to political parties. They control the vote then.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's how somebody can say, I'm going to primary you out. You know why? Independent people can't get involved in the vote. Just a small group of people to decide who the candidate's going to be. Then they'll let the independent people vote for it. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely ridiculous and it needs to change.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill, Jesse, do you know Larry Else has obtained control of the content and data on these three things now? CBS, CNN, and TikTok?
Yeah. Yeah. Everything that Viacom owned.
Yep.
Yeah. CBS, TikTok, CNN, MTV, all those stations. And now TikTok, where you say 20% of Americans get their news.
That's right.
That's
TikTok.
a lot of control for one man.
Yeah. But the Jewish community always felt that TikTok somehow was anti-Jewish when they were putting stuff on about what was happening to Palestinian people. I don't think we're going to see that on the news anyway, on the TikTok anymore.
Yeah.
They will be controlling the media. They're controlling the data. They're going to control the message. And, slowly we will get brainwashed by these people. That's what their plan is, okay? They've taken over hundreds of billions of dollars, and they're going to use it to their advantage, whatever their political advantages are. So, Larry Ellison's hostile takeover was never about taking over Warner Brothers. It was about taking over CNN, right? And we have a clip on that, don't we, Jess?
I believe we do.
Yeah.
On Friday's broadcast, we told you about a media mega merger in the works between Netflix and Warner Brothers.
Today, another serious suitor entered the picture. Paramount Skydance, the parent company of CBS, announcing what's known as a hostile takeover bid for the century-old movie studio and other businesses it owns.
Jolene Kent has the details from Hollywood.
It's a $108 billion cash offer for all of Warner Brothers Discovery. Paramount's offer is funded in part by the Ellison family, Middle Eastern sovereign wealth funds, a Chinese tech giant, and the private equity firm of President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Billionaire Oracle chairman Larry Ellison is a longtime friend and supporter of President Trump. Today, the president, who recently met with the Netflix co-CEO, weighed in.
None of them are particularly great friends of mine. I want to do what's right.
Jesse says he wants to do right. What is he referring to? Is he referring to Jared Kushner? Does he want to do what's right by him? Or what's going on with that, Jess?
Yeah. Since when does he want to do what's right for his bank account? Maybe.
I guess so. Yeah, that sovereign wealth fund, right?
Yeah.
That Saudi Arabia is that's where they put all their money, all their U.S. dollars go into that fund. And Jared Kushner is basically he has acquired those guys as very, very big clients to his organization in Saudi Arabia, and that's why you saw up there where we got the Middle East sovereign wealth funds. So Kushner is getting tremendous fees out of just being involved with this. Okay, plus he's getting a cut of the action. The Ellison family had to pay $16 million to the Trump, to Trump, but they're still friends. Well, that's good because they didn't let that $16 million get in the way, right? I mean, I would have been really upset if I had to pay somebody $16 million.
Yeah.
And hey, you got this crown prince's name there, Justin?
The crown prince of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Yeah, the crown prince Mohammed bin Salman.
Salman, yeah, that's the guy, right?
Yeah.
You know the story about him, right? And I'm going to ask you on this guy's name. The Washington Post reporter, do you remember him, folks? Jesse?
Yeah. Khashoggi.
Khashoggi, yeah, there you go. He was assassinated and then dismembered at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, Turkey. October 2, 2018. We kind of forget those things, right?
Right.
by a team of Saudi agents.
The Saudis got them.
The Saudis got them, right? A declassified United States intelligence report concluded that the prince, MBSs go by a shot, the Prince Mohammed bin Salman, approved of that operation.
Yeah. They used bone saws to cut his body up. That was a
they
terrible
cut him up
story.
in pieces and carried him out. You know what? And it's nice to know that Jared Kushner has a new friend.
Right.
The Prince.
Yeah.
Him and the Prince are good buddies now,
Yeah.
Welcome to America, right?
Running in honest circles there, yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do a little bit more if we can.
Sure, yeah. So
Trump praises West Point for reporting cancellations. Can you tell us about that, Jess?
Yeah, so recently Tom Hanks was set to receive the Sylvanus Thayer Award this month from the West Point Association of Graduates, but the ceremony was called off. Now, the West Point Association of Graduates board chairman Robert A. McDonald praised Tom Hanks for all his work representing the military in the release. Tom Hanks has done more for the positive portrayal of the American service member, more for the caring of the American veteran, their caregivers, and their family, McDonald said. So here's a clip that kind of explains. Bill, did you have something to say about that?
I'm just going to kick in and say that's until somebody from the White House talked to him and said, hey, we can't do this with Tom.
Right. Yeah.
He's too woke.
I'm sure that's what they said. Absolutely. So here's a story from NBC News.
In just a few weeks, beloved actor and veterans advocate Tom Hanks was set to add to his long list of accolades with a new honor, the prestigious Sylvanus Thayer Award from the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. But now that award ceremony has been canceled. According to the Washington Post, the decision to scrap the event, which includes a parade, was announced in an internal email to staff on Friday. The award, announced in June, is given to an outstanding citizen who embodies the Academy's ideals of duty, honor, and country. At the time, Hanks called the honor both humbling and meaningful. The alumni group citing the 69-year-old's portrayal of U.S. service members in movies like Saving Private Ryan,
Hey, Bubba,
and Forrest Gump, as well as his longtime support of veterans and military caregivers, like his work with the Elizabeth Dole Foundation's Hidden Heroes campaign, something he's talked about with Savannah over the years.
Hidden Heroes is all about the people that care for veterans who've come back with wounds.
It is 24 hours a day that loved one is going to require a certain type of care and attention.
Yeah, absolutely. This guy's one of my heroes in life. Paul Newman. I put him in the same category as the Paul Newman guy.
Yeah,
the guy that's in Washington in movies and whatever that really cared for people, right?
Yeah.
And Jesse, why do you think he got canceled here? What do you think the deal of that was?
Yeah, like you said, Trump probably thinks he's too woke.
Yeah.
He might have said one little thing about Trump one time and he got on his bad side. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I figured Trump wanted that prize, and he didn't get it.
Yeah.
If you don't give it to me, you can't give it to anybody. What do you think about that, Jess?
Totally. Yeah, I see that with the new Nobel Prize, and this prize, I'm sure, the same way. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, this is woke. I've been wrestling with this for a long time. I don't know what woke is, Jess, but anyway.
Yeah.
I boiled this down to, if you are woke, you can show compassion for people. That's what woke people do. They show compassion.
Yeah.
If you are not woke, it means you must support exploitation of hardworking Americans by billionaires and their corporations. And personally, I'm going to wrap this up now, Jess. Personally, I will never support that. That is bad capitalism, unconditionally. And we will have part 2 next week, and it's going to be about TikTok, how that acquisition took place and how much money was spent on it. So remember, it's up to you. Wake up, America. Social Security's going away. There's all kinds of ways to fund it other than payroll dollars from hardworking America. What do you think, Jess?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
better wake up, America. Like us on YouTube at Wake Up America with Bill Crafton. That's our YouTube page. And just follow us and give us a like.
Also
All right.
on your network too, right, Jess?
Yeah, also on the EGM network.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's right. You know, we're trying to get as much exposure as we can here.
Yeah,
and
that's
Leslie,
right.
I hope you enjoyed the show.
Yeah, shout out to Leslie. All right. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you.
Fabulous.